Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivardhari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada 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 Srila Prabhupada Haribo 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 Nitai Gora Haribo Nitai Gora Haribo 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 Nitai Gora Haribo Jam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacharya Stotra Shatashi Śrīmad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namashaya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंज राधा कुंज गिर गोवर्धन की जय सावित भक्त वृंद की जय all glorious assembled devotees
Hare Krishna.
all glorious assembled devotees
Hare Krishna.
all glorious assembled devotees
Hare Krishna.
all glorious Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga all glorious Shri Prabhupada
Ki Jai.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Can't hear you.
Vasudevaya
Om Namo
Om
Bhagavate
Namo
Vasudevaya.
Bhagavate Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna.
Haribo Mataji, Rucira, Dasi, you're cutting out. I wonder if we can't connect via your phone. Can we try and do that, Mataji? Connect via your phone?
Haribo.
Haribo, you're cutting out, Rucira, cutting out a lot. Is there any way we can join audio via your phone?
He's quiet now.
Okay.
I think we better let her do what she's doing. I think she has got a
Hare
note somewhere.
Krishna.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Haribo.
Haribo.
Haribo, Mataji.
Haribo.
Rucira, can you hear us?
Haribo. Yes.
Okay, you were just cutting out before. Do you want to start by reading that verse? Just read it
Sure.
out. We don't have to repeat because it's cutting out too badly.
Okay, sure. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just unstable for some reason today. Could I have that verse again, please?
Yeah, you just read it out for us. Thank you.
Okay, sure. Tanaha pradyotayadhyatma
Tanna pradayutatma
Jnanam tatvartadarshanam
Jnanam tattva-darshanam
Yenanjasattarishyamo
Yena jasatarisyamo
Dushtaram bhavasagaram.
Dushtaram bhavasagaram.
Word for word translation. Tat,
Tat.
therefore.
Therefore,
Naha,
naha,
Naha
for us.
for us.
Pradyotaya,
Pradayotaya,
Pradayotaya
kindly awaken.
kindly
kindly
awaken.
awaken.
Adhyatma,
Adhyatma,
transcendental.
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 Jnanam,
Jnanam,
knowledge.
Knowledge.
Tattva,
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 absolute truth.
absolute truth.
truth.
Artha,
Artha,
for the purpose of.
for the
For
purpose
the
of.
purpose of
Darshanam,
darshanam,
philosophy.
philosophy.
Yena,
Yena,
by which.
by
which.
which
Anjasa,
anjasa,
easily.
easily.
Tarishyamaha,
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 we can cross over.
we can
cross
cross over.
Dushtaram,
Dushtaram,
formidable.
formidable.
Bhava Sagaram,
Bhava Sagaram,
Sagaram,
the ocean of nescience.
the ocean of nations.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Dear Master, kindly enlighten us in transcendental knowledge, which may act as a torchlight by which we may cross the dark nescience of material existence. The Prachetas requested Narada to enlighten them in transcendental knowledge. Generally, when a common man meets a saintly person, he wishes to get some material benediction. However, the Prachetas were not interested in material benefit, for they had enjoyed all this sufficiently, nor did they want the fulfillment of their material desires. They were simply interested in crossing the ocean of nescience. Everyone should be interested in getting out of these material clutches. Everyone should approach a saintly person in order to be enlightened in this connection. One should not bother a saintly person to get blessings for material enjoyment. Generally, householders receive saintly persons to get their blessings, but their real aim is to become happy in the material world. Asking such material benedictions is not recommended in the Shastras. Om Jnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manavesham Stapita Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sham He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radhakanta Namosute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Very nice purport by Srila Prabhupada reminding us that we should not ask for material benedictions from saintly persons as well as from Lord Krishna, because that is not recommended in the Shastras, because asking material benedictions binds us even more and more in this material world. So we should not ask for material benedictions. Because Krishna will provide everything material anyway for us to survive here. We don't need to ask for them. Krishna already provides. He looks after all the living entities, and he especially favors his devotees because Krishna is bound by the devotees' love. So we should be very, very humble, and we should ask for spiritual benedictions so that we can advance spiritually in devotional service. Because that will actually help us come out of this cycle of birth and death, advancing in devotional service. So we should always only ask for spiritual benedictions from Krishna and ask for his blessings to advance in devotional service. So that's what the Prachetas were doing. They were asking Narad Muni how they can advance in devotional service, how to be spiritual. Because it is mentioned in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 7.6.13, being immersed in material sensual pleasures, a man considers sense gratification the ultimate object of life. How then can this sense-captivated man practice selfless vairagya-yukta devotion in this dilemma, condemning this conventional sensual pleasure based on Maithuna between a man and a woman? King Prahlada has stated in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 7.9.45, the pleasure coming out of the association with women is very petty. Like scabies, when scratched, gives pleasure but ultimately spreads to different parts of the body. Indulging in this pleasure adds misery upon misery. In spite of all the miseries it produces, the poor, licentious human beings are neither satisfied nor can they refrain from such grisly acts. Only the people who have been blessed by the Lord are able to put up with the alacrity of such desires. Nobody except these blessed souls can deter their desires. Thus, the wisdom and asceticism of these lascivious and lecherous souls goes in vain. So, in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 11.26 and 0.12 and 3.31.35, King Puruvara has said, what benefit is there in knowledge, practice of austerities, asceticism, hearing of the scriptures, reclusion and reticence, when one's mind is captivated by women? They are fools in the real sense of the word. Condemning the fruitless efforts of these people, King Puruvara is incriminating himself by saying, being the emperor of the whole world, I have been deluded by a woman like a debauched ass. Fie on me, shame on my ignorance and feeble-mindedness. The fool always considers himself wise and judicious, but he has been influenced by the maddening power of fraternizing with women. Therefore, he is repeatedly offended like a dog or a beast of burden. King Puruvara's passion for the flesh of women had not mitigated even after years of indulgence with Urvasi. So he is just repenting. So King Puruvara was repenting in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So as the fire is not gratified by oblations of ghee, likewise, my lust for Urvasi has not been mitigated even after so many years of cupidity. So nobody except Lord Hari can rescue my lured mind from being wasted. Henceforward, renouncing all the lust that is produced due to association with Urvasi, I shall worship Lord Hari. So, supporting this version of King Puravara's sage, Narada said to King Yudhishthir that one should always take care not to mix with women and persons who are associated with women more than necessary. Everyone should avoid discussions with women as it tends to seduce even the minds of hermits who have renounced material pleasures in order to attain the highest truth. So he's talking about materialistic women. So he's not talking about women who are devotees. So they're talking about women who are non-devotees. And so, yeah. So the mind is always disturbed as long as he has not realized the significance of the higher truth. So if our mind is not connected with Krishna, then we get attracted by material pleasures. So Narada, being thoroughly aware of the misfortune that follows such action, advised King Yudhishthir to refrain from such activities at any cost. So this advice should be followed by both the Grihastha and the Sannyasi. For as long as the concept of Bhagavan Hari is as the sole persisting factor of this universe is not established in the mind, this wicked mind cannot be purified. So we can know by analyzing the scriptures minutely that sage Sobari was an accomplished yogi. He could meditate even inside the water. But his restraint was accidentally overpowered when he became overwhelmed by passion after observing the copulation of two fish. At last, he also became obsessed with women. After numerous relationships with women, he became morose and said that he said in 9.6.51 of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the person who wants to be free from the cycle of birth and death should remain far from the company of persons indulging in women. It would do them good if they would remain in the company of the devotees of Lord Hari. If in case they do not find such devotees, they should go to a solitary place and contemplate on Lord Sri Krishna. Association with women is the cause of dissatisfaction and misery. Yielding them, man falls down from the course of righteousness and loses his life at an early stage. Answering the question of King Parikshit in the second canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Sri Sukadeva Goswami has explained how a householder spends his time with his wife, sons, and daughters. So in Grihastha life, we should aim to advance in devotional service with our family instead of just enjoying ourselves in material pleasures. So we should concentrate our mind in devotional service. So even Grihasthas, they can advance in devotional service together, support each other as a family. So, and support each other to become more Krishna conscious. So a person should never be bewildered, never be friendly with all these bewildered, ignorant people who are attracted to material pleasures. So the kind of bondage and delusion that develops from associating with them is deters us from devotional service. So the only purpose of our life is to surrender to Lord Krishna, so that we can come out of the cycle of birth and death. So that is what we should aim to do. We should try and come out of the cycle of birth and death by associating with saintly people. So the instructions of Narad Muni, so Narad Muni is a Mahajan, and this is the words of a Mahajan. So Mahajan, ye kahe she shaktamani. What a Sadhu Mahajan says, that is true. So the Mahajan has shown us the path, and that is the path we have to tread. So Narad Muni instructs Dhruva Maharaj how to be happy here, how one should behave and how he should deal with others, so that he will never be affected by the threefold miseries of material world. So when a person meets someone who is more qualified than himself, he should be very pleased. When he meets someone less qualified than himself, he should be compassionate. And when he meets someone equal to himself, he should make friendship with him. These are the dealing of a Vaishnava, a devotee. So this is the verse from Bhagavatam 4.8.34. So that is what Narad Muni has said. One who is not a Vaishnava, he behaves in the opposite way. So as Srila Prabhupada said, generally when we find someone more qualified than ourselves, we become envious of him. When we find someone less qualified, we deride him. And when we find someone equal, we become very proud of our activities. These are the causes of all material tribulations. So Vaishnava does not behave that way. A Vaishnava is never envious. He's always compassionate. And he's always friendly to everyone. So these are the qualities we should try and adapt. Always be compassionate to everyone. Never be envious of anyone. So always support everyone who has good qualities. And have friendship with everyone. So Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the Amala Pramana, the spotless proof. And Prema Bhakti is the highest truth. These are the opinions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita 1.39, it is mentioned, one who does not accept Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is a mlecha and a yavana. He is to be punished by Yamaraj, not for one life, but janme, life after life. So that's why we should accept Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and all Mahajana Vakyas are there. So Ishvare, who has developed love for Ishvara, love for the Supreme Lord Krishna, Tad Adineshu, one who has developed friendship with those who are equal, one who becomes compassionate or merciful towards ignorant people, one who ignores an offender, he is called a Madhyama Adhikari. So in Harinama Chintamani, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has mentioned Krishna Prema, Krishna Bhakti, Maitri Asharana. One who develops love for Krishna and make friendship with Krishna Bhaktas, Balishete Kripa, One who becomes compassionate or merciful towards a balisha, a murkha, an ignorant fool, one who ignores an offender, someone who behaves like this is a madhyama bhakta. And such a madhyama bhakta becomes a shuddha bhakta, a pure devotee, gradually. So when that happens, then he gets qualification in chanting Krishna Nama. This is Bhakti Vinod Thakur's instruction. So when we chant the Krishna names of Krishna, gradually become a pure devotee, and we see Krishna in all living entities. So we are never ever envious to anyone. We are always compassionate and friendly to everyone. On the other hand, a Kanishta Adhikari, which is a neophyte devotee, is one who offers worship to the deity form of the Lord, Archa Vigraha, according to Laukika Shraddha, which is ordinary faith, not Shastriya Shraddha, faith based on the Shastra. It is a question of Shraddha. Two types of Shraddha are there, Shastriya Shraddha and Laukika Shraddha. When we speak of Shraddha, we mean Shastriya Shraddha. One should develop Shastriya Shraddha, not Laukika Shraddha. But a Kanishta Adhikari, a neophyte, has not developed Shastriya Shraddha. And na tad bhaktishu chaneshu sa bhakta prakrata smrita. One who does not pay respect to Hari Bhakta, the devotee of Lord Hari, and isn't compassionate toward other living entities in whom Lord Hari is present, he is a Kanishta Bhakta. So we should avoid being a Kanishta Bhakta. Should try and become a Madhyama Bhakta and gradually progress to become an Uttama Adhikari, which is a pure devotee of the Lord, the most advanced devotee who sees within everything the soul of all souls, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Consequently, he sees everything in relation to the Supreme Lord and understands that everything that exists is eternally situated within the Lord. This is in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 11.2.45. This is called an Uttama Adhikari. He sees the moving and non-moving entities, Stavara, Jangama, but he never sees their outward form. What does he see? He sees his Ishta, his most beloved deity Krishna everywhere. Sarvatra Haya Nijo Ishta Devo Spruti. This is a completely Krishna conscious person. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 6.30, Yo mam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati tasyaham na pranasyami sacha me na pranashyati. One who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, he is completely Krishna conscious. Tasyaham na pranasyami sacha na pranasyati. I'm never out of his sight and he is never out of my sight. He sees me, I see him. This is complete Krishna consciousness. This is Uttama Adhikari. Everywhere he sees his beloved Krishna. And one who chants the holy name of Lord Krishna, even unconsciously, is freed from sins. That is the power of the holy name. When Lord Hari grants liberation from sin to one who even unconsciously chants his holy name, the position of one who never abandons the shelter of his lotus feet must be considered highly exalted. So even when when someone chants unconsciously, Krishna gives him liberation. So if a devotee chants consciously, he is even more closer to Krishna. Krishna favors him even more. Such a devotee can never give up the association of the Lord, nor can the Lord give up his association. Krishna himself dwells eternally within his heart. Such a great soul is known as Bhagavata Pradhana, the most exalted devotee of the Lord. This is in Bhagavatam 11.2.55. By uttering the name of Hari, all sinful reactions are destroyed, and that Hari is bound up in the heart of a Vaishnava, Pranaya Rasanaya, by the rope of love. Lord Hari never leaves the heart of such a Vaishnava, a Bhagavata Uttama. According to Chaitanya Charitamrita, Kaviraj Goswami has spoken of these three types of Vaishnavas. So we have to try and aim to become Uttama Adhikaris, always thinking of Krishna, seeing Krishna everywhere. Always being friendly and compassionate to everyone. So Lord Krishna, there's a story which shows us how wonderful Lord Krishna, how he reciprocates with his devotee so nicely. So once Krishna had come down with a high fever. It was so high that he was shivering due to the illness. Narada, being deeply concerned, immediately went there. When he saw Krishna suffering, he offered to bring some medicine. But Krishna stopped him, saying that no ordinary medicine would have any effect on his body. However, if Narada really wanted to help, then there did exist one medicine that would cure the disease. That extraordinary medicine was the dust of the lotus feet of his pure devotee. Narada immediately set out to find the medicine. First, he went to Dwaraka to ask Rukmini and Satyabhama, but the queens refused, as the very prospect of the dust from their feet being smeared on the Lord's body was unthinkable. Narada then hurried to Rajabhumi. There, the gopis immediately accented and asked Narada to take as much dust as he required and quickly returned to Dwaraka to immediately alleviate Krishna's misery. They did not even consider for a moment the consequence of their action. Their only concern was that Krishna should become well as quickly as possible. They said, "All right, let our dear Krishna be happy. By giving dust from our feet, if we go to hell, then let us go there forever. We will sign an eternal contract to suffer in hell." That's what they were thinking. Such selfless and unflinching absorption in Krishna's welfare is the result of pure love alone. Therefore, Krishna is so eager and greedy for the dust from the lotus feet of his devotees that he secretly follows behind his devotees to steal the dust from their feet. He who is followed by all devotees follows the devotees. This is how Krishna is. He is highly mysterious and cannot ordinarily be perceived. These nectarian exchanges of love between the Lord and his devotee are highly inconceivable. The reason why Krishna wants the dust off has been explained separately by Srila Sridhar Swami and Jiva Goswami. Explaining this amazing pastime, Sridhara Swami says, to purify his creation with the dust from the feet of his devotee, Krishna follows him. But Jiva Goswami says, Krishna has become indebted to his dear loving devotee, Prema Bhakta, and is unable to pay back this debt of such unmatched devotion or bhakti rina. He is indebted in the 10th canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. He explains how he becomes so indebted to his devotees. He says to the gopis, you all have developed such pure love for me that I cannot repay your debt. I do not have any asset with which to pay you back. Krishna, who is full of 6 opulences, expresses incapability to repay a debt. Supreme Lord is the possessor of all wealth. But he is saying to the gopis that he cannot repay their debt. The devotee's prema is what makes Krishna indebted. Same with Lord Uddhava. Uddhava himself, a great devotee, on seeing the devotion of the gopis, considered his own affection for Krishna to be very insignificant. He desires the dust from the lotus feet of the gopis as well. The gopis of Vrindavana have given up the association of their husbands, sons, and other family members who are very difficult to give up. Forsaking the path of chastity, they have taken shelter of the lotus feet of Mukunda Krishna, which one should search for by Vedic knowledge. So he's saying this, Uddhava says this in Bhagavatam 10.47.61. Oh, let me be fortunate enough to be one of the bushes, creepers, or herbs of Vrindavan, because the gopis trample them and bless them with the dust of their lotus feet. So the gopis exemplify the highest surrender to Krishna, because they have surrendered even their family bondage, which according to Krishna is most difficult to give up. So we have to follow in the footsteps of the gopis and the acharyas and just surrender to Krishna. We have to always give up things that are unfavorable in devotional service. We have to pursue things that are favorable to devotional service. Always think that Krishna will protect us. Be very humble. These are some of the symptoms of surrender. Always think that Krishna will protect. Always have faith that Krishna will protect us. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. If you have any comments or realizations, please share. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Rucira, for a nice class.
Thank
I
you.
just had a comment that I know when we have association of devotees, or even, you know, you were saying about women devotees and all that. But in Srila Prabhupada's case, you know, his sister came one time, and there were his disciples, the Western disciples, they were sitting there and they wanted to just leave. And Srila Prabhupada told them, no, sit here, don't go.
Yeah.
So, like it's written that even if it is your sister, mother, or, daughter, one should not be sitting alone with them. So
Yeah.
that's one point. So say we might be devotees and all that, but this material temptations are really not very good, So
Yeah.
one has to be cautious about all these things.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for a nice class. I don't know why you were delayed.
I had internet issues. Sorry, so sorry. I had internet.
We didn't know where were you.
Yes.
Anyway, ultimately you came. Thank you very much again. Hare Krishna. Just tell me, is Ekadashi today or tomorrow?
Let me
Yeah,
check.
according to calendar which we have from ISKCON Brisbane, it is tomorrow. Can somebody tell me what is it, today or tomorrow?
Yes, Mataji, it's tomorrow.
Okay, thank you very, very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Kadambini Mataji. You made me laugh around Srila Prabhupada's sister. I remember one story. My guru, she said, it was really early on in the piece, in the late 60s, maybe. Anyway, she was in the temple in India. I don't know if it was Vrindavan or in Mayapur.
Calcutta. I think it was Calcutta. She was
Maybe
there.
it was in Calcutta.
Yeah.
And she was sat down reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. It must have been Janmashtami. And the devotees had been told to just read Krishna Katha all day that day. It was their special benediction that the devotees should just non-stop. There should be Krishna Katha. So she sat down in the corner of the temple room and she read from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam non-stop for her allotted time, which was like 3 or 4 hours or whatever it was. And Srila Prabhupada's sister came in and she sat with her, and Narayani Mataji thought that she could understand English because she was engrossed. She was sitting there nodding, smiling, really appreciating. And it was only much, much later that Srila Prabhupada's sister had said to Srila Prabhupada, "Oh, these devotees of yours are very, very nice. They can speak Krishna Katha so nicely." Now, the interesting thing is that she didn't understand English, and yet Mataji was only speaking in English. But she was so impressed with this young devotee sitting there and speaking to the fresh air. There might have been just her and Srila Prabhupada's sister in that temple room at that moment. But she could see the dedication in the devotee, and she could hear the tone of voice, and she could see the way she was sitting and adamantly doing her service. So I thought that was just really nice. I wanted to share that after you shared something about Srila Prabhupada.
Yes, that's very nice. Srila Prabhupada, when he was in Bombay, that's a big pandal program over there. And because most of them were like Indians, and he was giving lectures in Hindi. And he told all his disciples to sit there. The thing is that they could not understand anything what Prabhupada is doing. But even Association of Prabhupada, there is always a name of Krishna when you are talking, whether you are talking in English or in Hindi or in
That's
Bengali.
right.
There is Krishna name is there. So one can be absorbed in hearing Krishna's name. So it's so amazing, that having association of devotees, the language doesn't matter.
Exactly.
So it's so great. Thank you very much, Yamuna, for sharing that. Hare Krishna.
If there are no other comments, I'll finish here today. Granthara Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai.
Ki jai.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Gaura Premanand.
Hare Krishna. Har Grace Rucira Dasi ki jai.
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Haribo.